Thursday.
7:02 and 25 seconds on a Thursday. Good morning. Sedano Kap Morning Show on a Torta Thursday and a complete Kershaw meltdown Thursday.
Oh.
We'd like to thank Clayton Kershaw for participating in this postseason. Pick up your commemorative "You Did It Again" scumbag t-shirt at the door. Oh, it's beautiful.
I don't have to add the scumbag.
You hack. You playoff hack. And the best part, that Bergman and Mason had to sit in the stadium and watch it happen. Oh!
Is that going to be on the new episode of Mason Plus?
Wow.
The first episode, the inaugural
Just
episode
coming out firing, dude.
of Mason Plus.
And I'm gonna do what Mason Ireland do. I'm gonna fire it all in the first segment. I might have nothing left. I'm gonna unload in the first segment.
Torta Thursday, man. That's what happens.
I might fall asleep in the third hour.
Oh, my God.
Torta Thursday.
And thank you to Troy Santiago.
Yeah, Troy.
Bergman awfully quiet, a minute and a half in.
I'm letting you just wear yourself out.
Oh, there you go, Bergman. Good job.
Keep going.
Good job. Excellent retort on a Torta Thursday.
I actually think it's a good idea to let Chris do his thing.
Oh, just punch himself out.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Just
mean,
let
you
him do
know, he
his
almost
thing.
died, so he's not going to have the same kind of energy. You know?
By the way, who were the ladies last year? Los Milagros, what were they?
Las Mil Amores. Las
They
Mil
would have known
Amores.
not to send Clayton Kershaw out there for another inning.
Oh, really? Those
Yeah.
tortas.
Yeah.
See. Oh, my God. So, Bergie, I'm curious.
Is he done?
No, I don't think he's done. But I'm just curious. I just want to hear your thought on this. You ready?
Yeah.
Usually you represent, for me, the Dodger fan base. You have a confidence, an arrogance, an expectation of excellence.
Damn right.
You represent the Dodger fan base. It seemed like last night after the game, as if the sky had fallen and everybody thought, well, that's it, we're screwed. Did people not expect the Phillies bats to at some point wake up?
I would agree. I would agree that you can't expect a team as good as Philadelphia to not win a game in the series. And, you know, the reality is this, is that baseball and hockey particularly in the playoffs, home field means the least in those sports, like historically. Basically, the road team wins nearly half the time, so or close to it. It just is what it is. And look, would I have sent Clayton Kershaw out there for a second inning after he just barely got through that one inning? No. I mean, obviously, I even texted him like, I think they're going to the well here too often, and it completely just.
Yeah, it imploded.
Became an unmitigated disaster, right?
Yes! It imploded all over him.
Unmitigated disaster. We haven't heard that one in a while. How beautiful.
You know what, though? But listen, baseball is kind of easy to figure out, right? Like, when you look at what happened last night, the top of the Phillies order, where they've got all these multi-gazillion-dollar bats, those guys all came up. They came through. You look at the Dodgers, and you look at the top of the order, other than Mookie Betts, those bats did not come through, and then it's real easy to figure out. The Yamamoto leaves, and he's down 3-1.
I mean, he wasn't good either, let's be honest.
And Kershaw, obviously, we know the blow-up of the eighth inning. And then on top of it, if you just want to add to it all, then you can add in Max Muncy, who, 2 days ago I was telling you, wow, what an incredible play on that wheel play.
Yeah.
And yet last night he can't make what looks like essentially a routine, grounder.
Yeah.
Which, maybe it wasn't exactly routine, but we expect Max Muncy to make a play like that. So,
Bergie, you
Bergie,
expect a guy who's playing third base to make that play,
right.
Yes.
So Bergie, I'll just ask you, why did it seem like the whole world thought the sky was falling? It's 2-1, and you come right back today.
Yeah, because this is how baseball works. It happened last year in the World Series. You lost one game, and everyone's like, oh, my God, Aaron Judge has figured himself out. We're going to lose everything. It's all over, and it didn't happen. Like you guys are saying, you're not going to beat the Phillies 3 games in a row, and you're not going to beat the Dodgers 3 games in a row.
Everybody picked the Dodgers last night.
No.
I heard you picked them. I heard Mason picked them.
I picked the Dodgers in 4.
Oh,
I picked the
come
Dodgers
on.
in 4 from the beginning.
It's so revisionist, and that's fine.
It's absolutely
Let me ask you a
not
question.
revisionist. In zero sense
if
is it revisionist.
If it goes to the 8th inning, and if it goes to the top of the 8th, everybody thought the Dodgers bats were going to come alive.
I was hoping they would.
Yeah, everybody thought that.
They
because
haven't
everybody
been
was
alive
calling
the
about
entire
Kershaw.
time. So okay, so with this
Can
whole
you just
Kershaw
say
thing,
that Clayton Kershaw choked again?
Clayton Kershaw
and made
was
sure
bad
there
in
was
that inning.
no
There's
comeback possible.
all right, are you
Is
done
there
yet?
no
Go ahead.
comeback?
Did you just bring me on my show to berate me? Is that what you're doing
Well,
now?
because it's revisionist. Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
It's not. It's fine. There's no. It's fine. It has nothing to do with it
It's
being.
fine,
It's
it's
fine.
fine.
No one's saying it's fine. It's saying that you're not beating the Phillies, who's one of the best teams, if not the top 3 best teams in all of baseball this year. You don't beat those teams 3 times in a row.
Do we
Just
need
like
to
you
find
don't-
the audio
just
of yesterday
times you don't
when
beat-
everybody said, oh, no, it's over tonight?
I felt good about Yamamoto on the mound.
when-
Yes,
when
it was.
was that?
Did not pick it.
It was all
that
throughout
on
the
Mason
day.
and Ireland?
Mason, Travis, Berge, everybody.
No,
I feel
actually,
good about tonight.
Actually,
feel good about
Travis,
tonight.
me, Travis, and DeMarco during first pitch, we're all saying, "Look, this is you're not going to beat the Phillies all 3 times in a row. This is not over. They're a
Wait,
professional
but what
baseball
about
team."
what happened during crosstalk then?
I didn't hear crosstalk.
No, okay.
Did you hear it?
Yes.
And what happened?
Everybody was very confident. Oh, it may not be, but we feel good about the Dodgers tonight.
Well, yeah, because Yamamoto's on your mound. He's your
And
best
then why'd
pitcher.
you put in Kershaw for the second
but
inning?
let's be honest. Let's be honest. And look,
Be honest, George.
I love Steve Mason.
but
I'm a big fan of the upcoming Project Mason Plus.
but I'm hearing a but.
But he never picks against the home team. Like he
That's a
never
big but.
picks against them. Never. I don't think he's ever picked against an LA team in any situation ever in a single game.
Bergman, another important question.
Yeah.
Will Clayton Kershaw ever appear again in a Dodgers game?
I don't know. It really will depend.
What do you think should happen?
So he's not going to pitch again in this Phillies series.
Do you ever want
Even
to
if it
see
goes
him again
5.
come out?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. If it's against the Brewers, it's a totally different situation, and probably only for 1 inning. Now, the other part of that is, though, who else are you going to throw in the 8th inning? Alex Vesia is the only one that I even think about, and he hasn't been great.
Right.
You know, if I was
you
running
want-
a
so,
baseball
but-
team,
Bonda,
maybe I'd think
Bonda
about
pitched
that.
well.
Bonda did pitch well. Alex Vesia, you're holding him in that situation. You're hoping Kershaw can get to the top of the order. Vesia comes in as a lefty against the Schwarber and Harper. There's nobody else in that bullpen that you're like, oh, yeah, I feel really good about that guy in the 8th inning.
Maybe if I was a brilliant baseball mind like Andrew Friedman and Dave Roberts proclaim themselves to be, I would think about that.
Did they say that? I
And-
haven't heard them say that. Is that
and
in a
outrun
quote?
you
Well,
Clayton
they may not have
Kershaw
said
out
it,
here.
but everybody else has kissed their asses. That's for sure.
Everybody.
I mean,
and Steve
I will
Mason
say
does
this.
a kiss fest every day to Andrew Friedman and Dave Roberts. John Ireland. Chris, tell me
listen.
this. How do you even understand? I don't understand how you continue to give Dave Roberts all time. He's the greatest manager ever. Well, that was great last night. That was incredible. That was incredible managerial skills.
Yeah.
What are you going to say today when they win and they wind up wrapping this thing up? I mean, are you
Guess
gonna
what?
be,
The bullpen's going to blow it again
I was
against the
gonna say-
Brewers or in the World Series.
The offense is the ones who choked, right? They didn't hit it all after. I mean, they were still
Well,
down when Kershaw came in.
You're right. They were, but
Shohei's
everybody
like 1
thought,
of 17
but
with 7 strikeouts.
everybody thought the
See?
bats could come alive
They
and
didn't.
pull out the game. But then when it became 8-1, that
Ranger
hope was kind
Suarez
of
is
gone.
also really good too. Like Chris, I understand, and this isn't even a bit for you because for people that think you're like ramping this up for radio, no, you really do
Despise
feel this
Clayton
way.
Kershaw
I
and
was
Dave
going to say
Roberts.
hate. I mean,
I
despise is
wasn't
not
gonna say
strong
hate.
enough.
Despise
hate
is worse,
hate seems,
right?
hate
You
seems
really
like
do
the right
feel this
word.
way. Like you usually turn it up a notch or two for the air, but this is real. Like I'm gonna tell people that this is real. And
So let
And real quick, just this whole thing about the bullpen. We had this conversation, and we said going into these playoffs, you might be able to get by. Because remember in the Cincinnati series, we were all kind of shocked that Dave was still using the bullpen combination that he used in the regular season. And most of us were like, well, if it didn't work during the regular season, why would you bring it back in the postseason? And I remember saying to you vividly, this will not work against Philadelphia. Philadelphia will make you pay in a way that Cincinnati cannot make you pay. And, the thing about Kershaw, and again, we had this conversation as well. If you go back and you look at some of Kershaw's most recent starts, he was giving up a lot of runs early, but then he was settling down, and there was still enough game to be played. When you come in the 7th, and as the caller pointed out, he got bailed out by his teammates.
Sure did.
Okay, and that's what you're supposed to do, right? But on the other hand, you don't have enough time when you're coming in the 7th. So if you start giving up runs in the 1st, there's lots of game to be played. When you give up a lot of runs in the 8th, you don't have any time left. That is the mistake that was made yesterday. And the bullpen, whether it's a starter coming out of the bullpen or a traditional bullpen guy, Philadelphia will beat you down. Cincinnati doesn't have the sort of firepower that Philadelphia has.
Sure, you're absolutely right. But let's kind of take it a little bit further. Now, in the 8th inning, who would you have liked to come in besides Kershaw coming in for a second inning? Because it's not Alex Vesia. Alex Vesia was being held for the top of the lineup to get to for the lefties when you go with Schwarber and Harper. So the idea is let Kershaw go until he gets to the top of the lineup, and then you go to Vesia. But at that point, you can't, or even Roki, because if you keep it closer, but probably not because you're down. But either way, so you're going to let him go, because otherwise, Treinen coming in is going to be a disaster. Anybody else in that bullpen outside, there's nobody left. You don't go to any of those guys. Glasnow, you're safe. You're down, so you're not going to go to Glasnow because he's pitching today. There was nobody else to go to in that bullpen besides letting Kershaw go to. It's the whole thing with the piggyback. Let the starters go in and go a couple of innings. He blew up. Absolutely. Morales is right that was a bad moment for him, but there was nobody else to go to.
Well,
they should have gone upstairs and said, Hershiser, what do you got? Come on in and do the magic like you did in '88.
You know what else they could have done? Because the TV cameras, they kept looking at Sandy Koufax. I mean, maybe Sandy goes out and does a little something. Maybe Sandy does some damage.
Sandy, spit on that ball and just throw it, baby.
Yeah. She's not Aunt Esther. She's Aunt Esther.
I caught you talking about the Dodgers. The Dodgers. I do think, though, considering Morales came out like a flamethrower, overcompensating even for himself.
Fuego. About the gutless scumbag, you mean?
It is still just 2-1.
Right.
Cappy made a great point earlier.
See that, guys? Listen to how good George's ears are. You hear what he just said? He said, Cappy made a good... Listen to how well he's listening to today's show. Go ahead.
Cappy made a great point earlier about the Yankees series. Everybody's like, oh, no, here come the Yankees. The Blue Jays are in trouble. And then the Blue Jays just smacked them in the face the next game.
Right, and that's what I anticipate the Dodgers will do today. Listen, Aaron Judge in Game 3 had a dramatic 3-run home run, and everybody was waiting for Aaron Judge and the Yankee bats to come alive. And they were down huge, and they wound up making this great comeback, and they won Game 3. Game 4 in Yankee Stadium, they got motorboated.
Yankee lose.
Yeah, the post-game show.
That was Vladdy Jr.
I love it.
Oh, dude. When David Ortiz last night.
That was Big Papi, yeah?
Uh-huh. No, it was
Vladdy Jr. You got
Guerrero
Vladdy Jr. to do it during the celebration.
Oh, yeah. Nice. He was talking to David Ortiz, to Big Papi, and they were going, da, Yankee lose, Yankee
and it's
lose.
great because Jeter and A-Rod are sitting right there. That's what makes it even better.
It's so good. But just the same way that Toronto had a 2-1 lead, and you're not likely going to beat one of these teams at this time of the year 3 straight games. The Yankees win, and then the better team comes back in Game 4. That's what's like. Do the Dodgers get it done? That's the first part of the prediction. And the second part of the prediction is, if the answer is yes, who is the guy today who actually steps up and makes something happen? Because Kyle Schwarber yesterday, he stepped up. Trey Turner for the Phillies, he stepped up. Bryce Harper, yes, there was a base running blunder, but still stepped up. Those guys had to step up. So now the Dodgers need one of, if not multiple of their guys who are also highly paid and highly decorated. They got to step up. So I'll ask it to you, Mr. Host of the Blue Review.
Yes, sir.
Do the Dodgers get it done today, and who steps up?
I do think they get it done today, and if it has to be Glasnow on the pitching side that gets it done. He has to be good. He has to go at least 7 innings. So I'm going to pick a 3-0 win, and I think that Shohei snaps out of it, gets a home run, and they win 3-0.
All right, George. What do you think about Bergie's prediction here? What do you think about that prediction? It's a Glasnow pitching performance with an Ohtani hitting performance.
It has to be, or they lose. By the way.
Okay. All right. Georgie, what do you say?
What do you mean it has to be or they lose? What do you mean by that?
Glasnow has to be good. He has to hold them down.
No. I would agree with that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
George, do they win today?
I don't think they win today.
Okay.
I think we're going to Philly again.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Glasnow makes it 7.
Okay.
And if he, it's the only way, to Bergman's point. I agree with Bergman's point that it's the only way they win the game. But I don't think he gets that far.
I'm going to go opposite direction here.
You're going to say they tie? I don't think that's possible.
No, I don't see it unless the commissioner gets involved.
Dodgers, one person says Phillies. You're going opposite. I don't know which opposite.
Unless the commissioner gets involved.
I don't know if that's possible to go opposite. Yes.
I'm going to say I think the Dodgers win this game today. Mm-hmm. I think the Dodgers wrap this series today. Yeah. And I think
I hope I'm wrong.
I think the star of this game, I think the guy who comes up huge for the Dodgers today is Will Smith. There's something about Will Smith and the way he was hurt at the end of the year and the way he's been working his way back in. And last night, 2 strikeouts, but he did get a hit. There's something in my gut that tells me that it's not going to be Shohei and it's not going to be Freddie and it's not going to be Mookie. It's not going to be Teoscar. Although, by the way, shout out to Teoscar Hernandez. He actually caught 2 balls yesterday in the outfield. So congratulations to him. Because I think he's one of those guys that, like, when you see a bullpen pitcher coming out, you're like, oh, no. When the ball is hit out to right field, you're like, oh, God, come on, please. Catch. Oh, thank God he caught it. I think Will Smith today. Will Smith comes up big, and the Dodgers win. Anybody else want to jump in here? We've got 2 for the Dodgers winning and 1 for the Dodgers losing. Christopher, with all of your Kershaw anger today, what do you think happens?
So I was editing something. Let's go Phillies to win and make it real scary, but Dodgers win ultimately.
Okay.
In 5.
In 5. Baseball, I mean, this is right in your wheelhouse, girl.
I mean, I think they're going to win today. Like, that's just, they have to. Because if they don't, they're in big trouble. They're going back to Philly. I don't know. I think that might be tough. They might lose in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Game 5, yep.
Okay.
My prediction.
Jorge Briones, you got the last vote here.
Okay, no, I think they're going to win today, and I think Max Muncy's going to step up. I think Max Muncy does it again.
Man, they need to.
Yeah.
Max Muncy had a great comment last night after the game, and the media was peppering him with, you know, the disappointment of what happened and Kershaw's failures and the error that he wasn't able to collect that ball. That, you know, it was a chopper, but a guy of Max Muncy's caliber should make that play 99 out of 100 times. And then there was the throw at third base that went over and runs scored. Muncy actually had a great comment, and he said, once you take the uniform off, the game and everything that happened in the game, it's over. That's it. Uniform comes off, everything that happened in that game, all of the failures, all of the blow-ups, all of their home runs, it all is over. And that is a really great way to put yourself in the right mindset of, hey, I took off the jersey, I took off the jockstrap, bro, and last night's game is now over. So I think these guys, I think they come out tonight, and I think they get this series win tonight.
It's going to be tough. Christopher Sanchez is really
he's really good, man. Yep. His ERA is like 2.5. Like, he's really good.
And he shoved against them on Saturday in Game 1. So they've seen him 4 times this year. I just wonder what they're going to do with Will Smith. He was your guy, Cappy, that you're calling out. Mm-hmm. So in Game 1, they had Ben Rortvedt start and had Will Smith come in later. Do they do that same thing? And also, Muncy usually isn't starting against lefties right now. So does it go back to your lineup that you put out there on Saturday, or do you put your big guns in there and have Muncy and Smith in the entire time?
I would go with the guys that got me here. And not just this year, but the guys who are the heart and soul type guys of my team. I put Tommy Edman in that category. I put Max Muncy in that category. I certainly put Will Smith in that category. There are obvious guys in Freddie and Mookie and Shohei. Those are your obvious guys. But your heart and soul guys are guys like Muncy and Will Smith and Tommy Edman, who did come up big last night with a home run. Tommy Edman. So I'm looking for heart and soul guys today. What do you make of where the Dodgers and the Phillies are? Because the Phillies bats had been quiet in Philadelphia, and all their big guys came through yesterday. And the Dodgers bats, especially at the top of the order, they did not come through yesterday. And while one of us here, you can decide or guess who, has been beating up on Clayton Kershaw all day, let's not forget that Yamamoto left the game down 3-1. So what do you make of today's game between the Dodgers and the Phillies, Game 4?
I think the Dodgers are fine. I'm not particularly worried about them. The one concern that I expressed that a lot of people were jumping on me online about for I'll never understand was the Ohtani concern, and he hasn't looked great at the plate this series at all. So that is my main concern. as far as the Dodgers go. Everything else, I feel like, has been happenstance in the context of that's why you play the games. I'm not going to say they lucked out in the first game or the second game, but they were rather fortunate to leave there with 2 wins. And now that you're back in the situation, Bergie and I were talking about this a little bit before I came on. I don't think that either one of these teams can beat the other 3 games in a row. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not particularly worried about the chances that the Dodgers still have just because they hung Kershaw out to dry, which separately is a whole separate discussion that I'll get to in a second. But, yeah, I wouldn't be particularly worried. This is what you play the games for. And if Ohtani can kick back in and really get himself going at the plate, I think they'll be fine.
All right, so then jump into that whole hung Kershaw out to dry thing because Chris has been having a field day. Do you know that he was in Michael's, the art supply store last night?
Well, it's a long story.
Like almost 9 o'clock at night.
I had to get balloons for Stephanie, and the only place you can get balloons now is Michael's, which Lindsay told me yesterday morning, and I remember that.
Oh, that's good.
So I left early to take the train to give me time. Then the train hit somebody. So I was
what about
stuck on the train
store?
for
Your
3.5
grocery
hours.
store doesn't have birthday balloons?
Not like to blow them up and wrap them and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's a good point.
Right.
But I was going back to Orange County, and my grocery store's in Orange County. I don't know which one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. So I stay in the car and watch the game cast for the 7th inning. And I'm like, Kershaw's actually going to pitch well. And everybody in our group chat is like, oh, yeah, Kershaw. And I was like, whatever. So I'm going to get it in. I'm going to get it hard tomorrow morning because they're all going to come at me.
Sure.
Then I go into Michael's. And, by the way, Michael's at 8:45 p.m. on a Tuesday night in Orange.
Gotta be a tough scene.
Rough place.
Gotta be a sad
I thought I was going to walk out of there with
Yikes.
hepatitis. I mean,
really?
it was tough.
Really?
So anyway,
Do they sell that there?
maybe that might be next to the fake foam that you
Behind the
stick
counter.
stuff in.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't think you need to buy it there.
Anyway, I'm doing the balloon. Then I get a text from Emily, and it's just an emoji, and I went, oh, my God. And I go to the Gamecast, and I get down on my knees in Michael's. It's a sticky floor. And I said, thank you, God. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Like Kurt Warner used to say.
Yeah.
Sweet Jesus.
Because Clayton Kershaw did it again. Another playoff choke job.
Okay, so here's how this went for me. Here's how this went for me yesterday. When I saw him left out there for the 8th. By the way, that's hilarious. The idea of Morales on his knees in a craft shop is just funny on a lot of levels. Anyway,
And him choking himself sounded
By the
funny
way,
too.
I could make money being on my knees in a craft shop, I think.
Okay.
I mean,
That's
Hey,
what- I think
hey,
Scott knows
hey.
a website for that. So I texted Travis.
You
and
want
I
a cookie?
I said,
Yeah, babe.
is this the last time we're ever going to see Kershaw?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, entirely likely, or something to that effect. And honestly, Scott, I think that's why he left him out there. Because, and again, there were situationals that could have been different, yada, yada, yada. But what surprised me most was that in a 2-run game, it felt like a punt. And considering how they had won the previous 2 games, I was not necessarily in the mindset of Dave just kind of hanging it up in the middle of a game, particularly one at home. That was the strangest part about that to me, was that it felt like in the flow of the game, all of a sudden he just raised the white flag. And that was concerning in the moment, but overall, I think that's why I tweeted this. I said, that's a turning point, because if he's basically saying, we're going to give this up, and we're going to hang our veteran out to dry because, well, maybe it works out situationally in this game, but overall, we've got to regroup for the next one. That's an indication to me that Dave thinks that there's something that needs to be said to the team overall, not just in that particular space in that game.
But I remember last year in the postseason, we argued about pitching changes, and I argued then that Dave plays the long game, not necessarily the short game. And so I'm with you at 3-1. This game is far from over. And, in fact, during the broadcast, there was a lot of talk about what Philadelphia was going to do after Aaron Nola came out. And, he went out after just 2 innings, but there was a lot of talk about they may go from, starter to closer, back to starter, looking for a clean inning, et cetera, et cetera. I guess if we look back on it and you were playing desperation and you were saying, hey, I want to keep this game at 3-1 so that we can get our bats up there and we can overcome a 3-1 deficit, which we've already seen so far in this series, you might have gone to Sasaki with a clean inning at the top of the 8th. But to your point, I think Dave may have said, look, I'll give Clayton another shot. And if it doesn't work out, I'm not playing exclusively for tonight. This isn't Game 7. I'll come back and I'll play again tomorrow.
And I think
I'll live for another day.
If you're a Dodgers,
By the way, can I interject here really?
You guys both said you don't think it's a desperation situation if you go back to Philadelphia.
I don't.
Because you still feel like it's a winnable game, of course, because you have a hard time thinking that one of these two teams would win 3 straight.
Home teams only win 54% of the time in the postseason. It's not like it's basically a coin flip either way.
It is, but I would tell you this right now. You want to wrap this thing up at home today. You do not want to take the risk of getting on a flight and having to go to Philadelphia and playing in their house in front of their crowd where there's all their energy.
They won the first two, no problem.
Yeah,
overrated, I think. Yeah.
Well, they're correctly rated about right up until the point that you get to the Dodgers. And that's kind of the thing. And
Would you say it's properly properly rated or overrated?
I would say it's properly rated. I'd say the Phillies are properly rated as beneath the Dodgers, but capable of beating them.
No. I'm not saying that they're overrated. I'm saying that the whole notion of having to go on the road is overrated.
Okay.
In baseball.
But it is game 5 of a 5-game series, and you've just lost 2 straight. And you've got the confidence. You've got the confidence
against the wall.
Right. You got the confidence of having won 2 straight there. But then you have the doubt of, but they just came back to our place and won 2 straight.
I think what you're overlooking, Cappy, is the fact that the Phillies have never done this with this outfit, and the Dodgers have. And so the pressure in that scenario is not on the Dodgers in the same way.
It's on the Phillies.
It's on the Phils, for sure.
They got to close out.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of outfits, Clinton Yates.
Yes.
I must tell you, I'm not as into uniforming as you are.
Okay.
But I love the old school Phillies uniforms last night.
Oh, I loved them.
My boy calls them the baby blue and Dr. Peppers, which is exactly what the colors are. Those are fantastic. You cannot go away from those for the rest of the series if you're the Phillies.
We need that. Let's do it so we can have it clean for imaging. 3, 2, 1.
My boy calls them the baby blue and Dr. Peppers, which is exactly what they are.
Very nice. Very nice.
You got to stay with those. You see that?
We've been doing a lot of recording.
I mean,
that's like
Mike Schmidt, Pete Rose with the Phillies. Like that's what it looks like.
Yeah, I sent you a spec, Cap. You want to just do it now?
Just do that now.
Oh, I haven't even.
We don't have
well,